Alright, buckle up, because we're gonna speedrun a couple of questions I had about Path of Exile 2's early access, as I figured you might have them too. Question number 1. How do you get in? 3 ways. Either you've already spent more than $480 on the first game, or either you purchase a supporter pack which starts at $30 and is actually great value because you also get 300 points to spend on the store, which is enough for the most important stash tabs. Or you get gifted a key by someone else. And if you're hoping for the last, go follow me on X, where I'm gonna post 4 riddles with the answer to each being a key. Question number B. What class should you play? I don't know, but I'm gonna summarize my class deep dive. If you want a slow, hard-hitting melee class, go Warrior, and then either pick the Titan for big hits and stunts, or the Warbringer if you want totems and war cries. If you prefer slinging spells, pick the Sorceress, and either focus on elemental attacks with the Stormweaver, or literally stopping and manipulating time as a Chronomancer. Now, if both of those don't sound that appealing, you can also go for the Witch, who has an army of minions and curses, and can turn into a fire-shooting demon as an Infernalist, or focus on big crits and big life pools as a Blood Mage. Still don't like any of these? Well, then the Ranger will reward you for being able to stay at range, and you get a ton of mobility as you can use your abilities while moving. The Deadeye will further reward you for not getting hit and shoot multiple arrows at the same time, while the Pathfinder is the master of poisons and they get to throw their flasks at their enemies instead of drinking them themselves. Now, if you like this projectile shooting, but you want more of a shooter playstyle, then pick the Mercenary instead, who gets a crossbow that can turn into a shotgun, an assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and, well, you kinda get the idea. Oh, and grenades. They also get to throw grenades. And their Witch Hunter ascendancy will be excellent for clearing maps, by the way, as they have a chance to explode their enemies and get a first hit bonus, while the Gemling Legionnaire gets more skill slots and less restrictions for slotting in gems while making them more powerful at the same time. If you kinda like the Ranger's mobility and the Sorceress's elemental attacks, but you wanna play melee, then pick the Monk instead. Their Invoker ascendancy lets them specialize into lightning or cold, and the Acolyte of Chayula will literally embrace the darkness. Question number yellow. What is included in the early access? The 6 classes and 12 ascendancies I just mentioned, as well as acts 1 through 3 both on normal mode and an increased difficulty mode. And tons of endgame content as well. Get the Atlas, which is an ever-expanding map that needs to be cleared from corruption, which you can do by entering locations and killing all rare and unique enemies, while also dealing with some mini-events or sometimes even a map boss. And there's also some more specific types of maps or modes. The first is Breach, where you need to keep killing enemies to keep the breach expanding. And as you do, they'll sometimes drop breach splinters, which can be turned into a breach stone to gain access to the Twisted Domain, which is basically a massive breach in and of itself that needs to be cleared in time to get to a special boss. Then there's Rituals, where you need to kill monsters around an altar, and once you're done, you need to locate the next one, which will spawn both a wave of new ones as well as the ones you just killed. That's still not all, by the way, because there's also Deliriums, which you can access by running through a mirror into the Mists of Nightmare, and the further you travel, the more powerful monsters you'll have to deal with. And then there's Expeditions, which should make for some treasure finding fun, as you get to place explosives to dig up treasures and slay monsters you inevitably awaken. And lastly, there are the endgame trials, that usually consist of 4 floors of enemies and challenges, with yet another pinnacle boss at the end. All of this endgame content is self-sustaining, by the way, as the Atlas is basically infinite and will keep expanding in every direction. Although failing to clear a map does mean that that spot is locked off and you'll need to find other ways to your target. The different types of encounters are self-sustaining as well, by the way, as you get breach tablets from breaches, for example, which will then let you do more of them. And the same goes for basically anything I just mentioned. The reason why you might choose one type of content over the other has everything to do with their rewards. Deliriums, for example, will eventually grant you the possibility of crafting an upgrade, which grants you an extra passive, even if it's nowhere near your node on the skill tree, whereas Trials will help you further specialize into your chosen ascendancy. So you'll basically be aiming for the type of content you need to further develop whatever aspect of your character you want to prioritize. Question number yes. When is the full release and what can I expect then? The early access will run as long as needed, with 6+ months being mentioned as a possibility and with the expectations of the full launch coming sometime in 2025. Now, once the game does go live, the higher difficulty acts will be removed and replaced by acts 4 through 6. And we also get 1 more ascendancy for each of the 6 classes I already mentioned, as well as 6 more classes with 3 ascendancies each, and probably some more endgame stuff if a league starts at the same time. And now that I've got you all warm, question number: what pack should you buy? Well, any you would like. The 30 pack is technically the best value as it has everything you need. And any of the more expensive ones basically just add more cosmetics or potentially also a hoodie and a t-shirt. Although I chose not to receive mine as the shipping costs were another $100 for me. And for the Liberators of Rayclast, you get to submit items to the Twilight Foil or the Reliquary, which is a fun little bonus where you get to influence which unique items can drop a foil version for other players. And that's it. All you need to do now is like and subscribe, because God knows I need all the help I can get, and follow me on Twitch so you can see me stream the game as soon as it goes live.